A good Erev Shabbos, Columbus. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's daily dose of digital Torah inspiration here at Sinai Studios, Judaism Today. Allow me to give you a blast of Chassidus to take you into Shabbos, and it's about Shabbos, and not only about Shabbos, it's about the Omer period, which we find ourselves in now. The Sfiras HaOmer period is a remarkable period. It's the period in time which we count between Pesach and Shavuos, between the redemption of the Jewish people to receiving the Torah. We're celebrating Lag BaOmer. Lag BaOmer is sort of a midpoint in the Sfiras HaOmer. And it's a very important time. Each day we count it. Each day represents a different spiritual dimension. Each day represents a new thing that we should all work on as Jews. And believe it or not, amidst this very spiritual and Kabbalistic counting, there's a very interesting historical debate which emerged between the Pharisees and the Tzaddukees. The Pharisees were like us, the traditional rabbinical Jews, the people who followed the teachings of the oral Torah, and the Tzaddukim were those who denied the oral Torah. And what's incredible is that the Torah itself, the Bible, uses the following phrase to describe when we should count the Omer from. The Torah says, "Usfartem lachem macharas haShabbos." You should count the Omer from the day after Shabbos. And if you're a Tzadduki or someone who is just reading the Bible, you might say, well, that means Sunday. What's the day after Shabbos? Sunday. Start counting the Omer from Sunday. However, the rabbis, the Pharisees, debated this and argued this and disagreed with this, which is our tradition today, that the Shabbos here refers to Pesach. That the first day of Pesach is called Shabbos, and we start counting the Omer from the day after the first day of Pesach, i.e. from the second day of Pesach to Shavuos. Okay? Got it? So does Mimarchas HaShabbos mean the day after Shabbos, i.e. Sunday? Or does Mimarchas Shabbos mean the day after the first day of Pesach, i.e. the second day of Pesach? And from here, from our tradition, from the Pharisees' tradition, from the oral Torah tradition, this is how we get to count from Pesach to Shavuos. It informs the whole philosophy. But there begs the question, while it may be true that in the oral Torah, in our tradition, the definition of Mimachar HaShabbos is the day after Pesach, the first day after the first day of Pesach, why on earth would we call Pesach Shabbos? Shabbos is Shabbos, Pesach is Pesach. We don't call any other holiday Shabbos. So why are we referring to Pesach as Shabbos? Says the Heluga Berdichever a beautiful idea. He says, because Shabbos represents the pinnacle and the climax of creation. That throughout the week we work, throughout the 6 days of creation, God, so to speak, worked. And the purpose of all that work in creation, the purpose of everything that God did was revealed on Shabbos. And in Shabbos we say, we're Yisruhu b'malchuscha shomer Shabbos v'koryoneg. On Shabbos we rejoice in seeing the fullness, completion, and extent and purpose in God's creation. That's why it's the pinnacle, the last day of creation. Says Rav Levi Yitzchak, this is what Pesach. The Shabbos of Pesach represented the pinnacle of creation in a broader sense, because that is the day when we were created as Jews. And we know that not only did God create the world for his spiritual expression on Shabbos itself, but Bishvil Yisrael Shenikaracious and Bishvil Torah Shenikaracious. That the purpose of creation itself was to get to the moment of the Jewish people. The moment of the Jewish people was the Chag HaGeula, the holiday of redemption, the first day of Pesach. And so that's why it's called Shabbos. But there's another Shabbos. Ad Mimacharas HaShabbos HaShvi'is Tishburu Chumishim. You count till the last Shabbos. And that last Shabbos is also B'Shul Yisrael, B'Shul Torah Shenikaracious. Shabbos to Shabbos is the purposes of creation. We're going into Shabbos tonight. We're going into our observance tonight. Let us recognize that and be reminded by this beautiful idea that the whole purpose of creation, the reason why we live, is for Shabbos. Think about that. That will change your Shabbos. If you take this idea with you and you think that, wow, the whole reason why we're here is so that we should recognize Hashem, and that's what Shabbos means. We work, but for what end? For Shabbos, that gives meaning and purpose to all creation? That'll change our Shabbos. Take that with you. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Judaism Today. If you did, please make sure to follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, or check into our podcast wherever podcasts are listened to. And we look forward to hearing from you more.